After the release of Batman 1989, the world went into full chaos with Batmania.
Batman's battle against crime never ends. And now you can bring the action home.
Batman!
Batcave.
Batman!
It's Batman.
Batarang surprise! Batman!
Batman, the Dark Knight Collection. Batman like you've never seen him before.
Batmania! So obviously Warner Brothers was gonna greenlit another movie, Batman Returns. Kind of an odd title, as Batman has still been crime fighting the entire time. Man didn't go anywhere, he's only returned to theaters? With Michael Keaton and Tim Burton coming back, Warner Brothers felt a lot more confident with his direction in Batman, giving him full reign to do whatever he wanted with the sequel. And man, was that probably a giant mistake. I wouldn't really say for us, the audience members, because we got one of the first ever Batman Christmas movies with so much style, flavor, and a lot of darkness. Tim Burton might have taken it a little too far this time that it actually cost Warner Brothers millions of dollars. We'll get into all that here, but let's just go ahead and rip the rubber masks off. And hit play with Tim Burton's Batman Returns of 1992. So with the opening of Tim Burton's Batman Returns, we start off here with the origin story for the Penguin. It's definitely one that got very Tim Burtonified, as we see here the mansion of the Cobblepots enjoying a lovely Christmas in Gotham as they look over to a baby they have strapped in a cage. In this version of the Penguin, he's born with a defect where his hands are more like penguin fins. But that's not even the worst of it. His father's Pee Wee Herman. These wealthy individuals decide to do what any rational parent would do in that situation, and that is murder their damn baby? We are 2.5 minutes into this movie, and Tim Burton wanted babies to drown on screen. Okay, let's keep rolling. With that setup out of the way for the Penguin, we are treated to some more amazing Danny Elfman music with the title card Batman Returns. As the credits roll, we see that this baby eventually ends up at the hands of some penguins. Oh, so that's why they're gonna call him the Penguin. Tim Burton, you're a genius. Jumping forward 33 years where we have present-day Gotham about to celebrate another Christmas, and here you go. You thought I loved Gotham City in Tim Burton's previous movie? Wait till it gets Christmified. I already love this Tim Burton Gotham and everything it provided, but when you add Christmas on top of that, it just makes everything better. Don't believe me? Look at that. I'm already a better Batman. After a little Christmas Gotham sightseeing, here we meet up with a very vital character for this movie, Max Schreck.
Frankly, I cringe, Mr. Mayor.
Played by the amazing Christopher Walken, and I know some of y'all are expecting a Christopher Walken impression. I don't got that kind of talent. What do you mean? You can do Christopher Walken. Tell me who the heck that was, because it wasn't Christopher Walken.
I cringe, Mr. Mayor.
But he's a newly made-up character into this Batman world that's not from the comics, and basically he's just your stereotypical evil businessman filled with greed and wants to put a power plant in Gotham City and will do whatever it takes to get his way. This is also where we meet up with Selina Kyle, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, as the kind of fumbling secretary that gets in the way of everybody.
I have a suggestion. Well, actually really just more like a question.
We then follow Max Schreck giving a speech to the citizens of Gotham as he's being honored for contributing to the city. That is until the Penguin finally decides, after 33 years, it's time for him to emerge from the sewers. Causing chaos in the streets of Gotham, the perfect opportunity for the police department to use the bat signal that was given to them at the end of the last movie. And as a Batman fan, I can't tell you how much I love this shot right here of Michael Keaton's Batman just sitting in his mansion, fully in the dark, waiting by his window for that signal to appear in the sky, as it's the only thing that gives him purpose in his life. And as soon as he sees that thing light up, the man goes to action. And this is why I think sometimes Batman sequels are sometimes much more enjoyable or can be better better than their predecessor, because a lot of the times the first Batman movie in a series is all built upon giving you that origin story. You know, the killing of the Waynes, the building up the Sue, where he gets his gadgets, why he does what he does. And Batman Returns, you get all that, you know it, so 15 minutes in, we could just see Batman go crazy and murder some damn criminals. And I think I'll never get over the fact how cool Michael Keaton can look beating up some bad guys while still remaining stiff as hell. Not to mention the slight suit upgrade he gets here that, although I love the 1989 version, this little tweak of a kind of simplified version of his chest and abs works really well. We do see here he does save Selina Kyle from some of Penguin's goons, with Tim Burton making sure to give a little bit of a unique spotlight on Batman, planting the seed for Selina Kyle later in the movie that a person in all rubber black is pretty badass. Once Batman has handled that situation though, we do cut over here back to Max Schreck, who's been kidnapped by the Penguin, where he finally explains his motives and what he wants to do.
I want to find out who I am by finding my parents, learning my human name.
And you know what? As weird and over the top as Tim Burton made the origin of Oswald Cobblepot the Penguin in this movie, because nowadays, even before the Matt Reeves version of Penguin we're about to have, I did always see Penguin as a mob boss. I think the Arkham games are a great showcase of that. But here, it's definitely different and unique. This man has lived his entire life in the sewers, surrounded by penguins, very conveniently as he just has the nose and fins of a penguin. And while yes, some might be thinking, how did he learn to speak? Where did he learn to read? How could he even comprehend things? Because as far as we know, he was just raised by penguins. Are these penguins also speaking English? But again, that's kind of where I praise Tim Burton's wild side and his creativeness in immersing this world, because since you can kind of distinct this isn't supposed to be our same universe, you kind of just let those questions go and continue on with the movie and enjoy it. And I definitely enjoy Danny DeVito's Penguin. The man is so committed, and what he explains here about him living in the sewers and seeing the real side of Gotham as he gets to look at all the citizens' trash as it comes through.
What you hide, I discover. What you put in your toilet, I place on my mantle.
I think already makes him a pretty deep and layered character. But ultimately, at this moment in time, what he wants is to blackmail Max Schreck, knowing that his company has been part of some shady dealings, because like he said, he knows all the underlying secrets of Gotham, blackmailing him in hopes to finding his real parents. While Max Schreck is agreeing to that, we then follow Selina Kyle as she goes home, giving us an idea of what she's like when she's alone.
Honey, I'm home! I forgot. I'm not married.
Again, not the stereotypical version that we would know Catwoman today. You would just assume from the get-go, Catwoman Selina Kyle just comes off as a confident, promiscuous woman. Not really someone who's down on their luck and apparently an Obi-Wan Kenobi fan?
Hello there.
But in checking her messages, Selina had actually left herself a message earlier reminding her to prepare files for Max Schreck, who's about to have a meeting with Bruce Wayne. This prompts her to head back to the office as she had not done that yet. Unfortunately, she was caught digging in some of the wrong files.
How did you open protected files?
Well, I figured your password was Geraldo, your chihuahua, and it was.
Wait, what the? Oh my god, I got that same statue!
I will eat every single one of you Funko Pops for this.
Max Schreck decides the only thing he can do in this moment is to get rid of Selina.
For a second there, you really frightened me.
And I gotta admit to you, the first time I saw that as a kid, I thought that was insanely brutal and a horrible way for Selina Kyle to go. But not insane as the fact that a group of kittens have just licked this woman to life. And this is more about what I was talking about, that sometimes Tim Burton takes the names of these Batman characters a little too literal. We saw in the first movie that with Batman, he was like, alright, he's a Batman. He must sleep upside down. Let's put him upside down. With the Joker, let's just have him with some playing cards and he'll hold up the Joker card. Here, Tim Burton was like, Penguin? He's raised by penguins. Catwoman? Brought to life by cats. I don't want to know what other literal translation Tim Burton would have had with the rest of these Batman villains.
All right, prepare the scene for how the Scarecrow was conceived. Take one.
But again, even though I'm joking about how ridiculous these origins are for the characters, Tim Burton finds a little bit of a deeper meaning that makes them so complex and interesting. We had just seen Selena Kyle literally be pushed over the edge for being the shy, quiet girl. So when she finally comes home and is kind of reborn and is given this new purpose, she fully explodes and basically reinvents herself, wanting to destroy and kill that part of her that was shy and innocent, taking inspiration from someone dark and brooding like Batman and deciding to make a leather outfit of her own. An outfit I also want to say is iconic. I love the messy feel of it and how you could tell it was just kind of abruptly put together, and the way it just shines in certain lighting in Gotham. Really awesome costume choice for Catwoman. Not only that, but I like how Tim Burton didn't just make the origin of Catwoman so one-dimensional, where she's someone who just hates powerful men that take advantage of women, as we see in this scene.
I just love a big, strong man who's not afraid to show it with someone half his size.
Where she kind of also even attacks the woman for being a damsel in distress.
Thanks, You make it so easy, don't you?
Pretty mature themes for something that's supposed to be a kid's movie to sell toys. As the film continues on though, we do see that Max Schreck goes ahead and helps the Penguin with his goal of wanting to find his parents. They set up this whole little fake scheme where a baby's gone missing and the Penguin has rescued him. Not really anyone wanting to question how a baby ended up in the sewers with the Penguin, but alright. I also love how Tim Burton was trying to have this connective theme between Bruce Wayne and the Penguin of two individuals who had lost their parents. We even see him investigating a little bit in his newly renovated Batcave that still looks amazing.
Why are you now determined to prove that this Penguin is not what he seems?
There's something about just seeing Bruce Wayne with glasses going to work, reading articles, researching, that I'm like, ooh, I love Batman, man. Sadly, it is found out that Oswald Cobblepot's parents had died long ago, leaving him orphaned. Funny enough, this is where the Penguin's story would have ended if not for Max Schreck seeing some potential in the Penguin. He decides that maybe he can go ahead and use this newly found heart of Gotham that everyone seems to love, the Penguin, and recommend he be mayor. That way he can get approval on a lot of the shady business deals he wants done in Gotham City. But again, it just plays out in that Tim Burton over-exaggerated way, where one of the ways he bribes them into this plan is feeding him a fish. And even I as a kid knew, as much of a sob story the Penguin did have and him being deformed, there's no way they could ever vote in something that looks like this. Even more wild to me how everyone just kind of goes along with it even after he's bitten the nose of someone working on his team. This is kind of finally where I have to talk about it right here, where I mentioned that Warner Brothers would grow to regret letting Tim Burton have free reign of this Batman movie, as it would cost them millions of dollars. What had happened here is that because of all these adult themes that were happening in Batman, the much darker tone, how 2 minutes in we had someone trying to drown babies, uses of blood, people biting off noses, Warner Brothers had a deal with McDonald's in place for some Happy Meal toys, and as soon as good old Ronald McDonald the Clown saw a cut of Batman Returns, they were like, we can't market this to children, y'all, having them go ahead and pull their deal and cancel those toys.
By now, you pretty much have had to have heard that the summer's big movie is Batman Returns, and it is already creating controversy. Some parents contend that Batman Returns, which is rated PG-13, is actually being marketed for younger children, and the movie is just too violent.
It was very violent. It was a total attack against kids.
And a McDonald's promotion is clearly aimed at kids. Buy a Happy Meal, get a Bat toy, even if you're too young to actually see the movie.
I think it's not appropriate at all that they're doing this kind of tie-in for the kids.
Parents have a child who has a defect, which was not something that we ever saw in the comics. They threw him off a bridge into a sewer. He's a baby. Catwoman is a woman who gets thrown out of a 20-story building because she speaks her mind to her boss. She's abused, and the issues of good and evil were very confusing.
And this is kind of the double-edged sword I was talking about in my previous review of Tim Burton's Batman, where Tim Burton had found a way to kind of mature Batman, but also keep his marketability factor and make everything still feel lively and like you want some merchandise of that character. And look, at the end of the day, these characters and Warner Brothers, they're a business. Their main goal is to make money. And believe it or not, the money they make selling toys is way more than they make from the movie itself. And it would ultimately be this reason why eventually Tim Burton would be replaced with someone like Joel Schumacher, and we would eventually see the following Batman movies really up the camp and family-friendly factor, as Warner Brothers still ain't recovering from that loss of them McDonald's Happy Meal toys. Like, I went to damn Target today and I'm still able to buy some Batman Return toys. Wouldn't be surprised this was supposed to be one of them Happy Meal toys. But from there we are treated to a sequence where some of Penguin's goons go out to wreak havoc on Gotham, leading to some really great and creative shots for this version of Batman. I love seeing Batman pull out his gadgets and using it on multiple criminals, Catwoman doing her thing of just being a regular burglar, along with Michael Keaton's cursed Batman smile. Yeah, you can't have a smile like that and not be a killer. Also gotta love the madman Tim Burton went ahead and gave Penguin his trick umbrellas. That's something I don't ever know if we'll see again or even come close like in the Matt Reeves version. But who doesn't smile at the fact that the Penguin has umbrellas with weapons in them? But with the Penguin kind of flown off, we are treated to one of our first confrontations between the Batman and Catwoman. And as much as I'll complain in later movies of the love interest relationship that Batman will have with other characters that show up in his movies, I gotta say the Catwoman and Batman relationship in this movie really brought it to another level.
How could you? I'm a woman.
I'm sorry,
Man, is it just a highlight of this movie. But now both the Penguin and Catwoman, realizing they have a common threat, decide they should probably team up.
just the pussy I've been looking for.
Yeah, ain't no freaking way you were getting them Happy Meals. The Penguin and Catwoman decide to end up working together to take down the Batman, where Penguin has already put a plan forward where he's gotten his hands on the blueprints for the Batmobile. Don't know how the heck he pulled that off. Planning not only to rewire and sabotage his Batmobile, but also frame Batman for murder. Honestly, just pure diabolical, wild nonsense that Tim Burton just makes so visually stunning for the time. Tim Burton continuing to showcase how he can be inventive with the different forms of this version of the Batmobile. But now that it looks like the Penguin has gotten the citizens of Gotham on his side and has put Batman as a villain for the town, except Batman has other plans.
I'll take care of the squealing, wretched, pinhead puppets of Gotham.
This cancellation of the Penguin has sent him back all the way to the sewers, where he's getting ready for his final scheme of revenge.
Penguin? I mean, killing sleeping children. Isn't that a little,
Yeah, again, you ain't getting those Happy Meals. While at the same time, we follow here Bruce Wayne in the stunning Batcave as he's fixing up the Batmobile while Alfred is reminding him that he has a party to go to. Bruce Wayne attending the party, hoping to come in contact with Selina Kyle, his new love interest.
A kiss under the mistletoe. You know, mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it. Kiss can be even deadly.
It's honestly such a gripping moment, and the way Selina Kyle reacts to it, asking, does this mean we're supposed to fight now? Is exactly why I was saying the Batman and Catwoman relationship is a highlight of this film. But however, before Batman or Catwoman can realize what exactly to do with their situation, the Penguin has decided to put his plan full forward, telling the citizens of Gotham exactly what he has done. Kidnapping Max Schreck down to the sewers as he entertains his audience of penguins. I cannot get enough of these penguin animatronics in the movie. They're just so funny. Almost just as funny as the fact as the Penguin wanted to go ahead and make these basically suicide bombers for the city of Gotham. Batman, of course, foils all these plans where we have the final set piece of the film taking place underneath the sewers. This is again where some of those complex layers between Catwoman, Batman, and Max Schreck kind of come forward.
Shut up, you're going to jail.
Don't be naive. The law doesn't apply to people like him or us.
It's honestly such a powerful storyline, even more powerful with Batman there, the man who just relentlessly kills.
Batman killed me, that.
Kind of warning Selina Kyle that she shouldn't go through with it as it won't help her out, probably speaking from his own experience. And really it's the performance of Michelle Pfeiffer, the way she sells it home and ends her journey of getting back at her attacker. But with those two now out of the picture, all that's left is the Penguin wanting to grab one last umbrella. like I said, puts a smile on your face. And so do these damn puppeteer penguins just going ahead and waddling the penguin off into the water. Why does this feel poetic in a weird way? Ending off the film with Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne and Alfred headed home.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Wayne.
Merry Christmas, Alfred.
Unsure whether Catwoman survived the events or not, but the movie wants to make it clear she did in what is said to be the most expensive shot of the movie that would be completely wasted because she doesn't return for any of the following sequels, ending the duology of Tim Burton's Batman movies. To me, it's really such a shame we never got to see that third Tim Burton Batman film. I love the darker approach that Tim Burton took to this version of Batman, and he also showed in this sequel he had a lot still to give to the character of Bruce Wayne and Batman, continuing to show an impressive visual style while also giving a lot of depth and layers to the villains in the film. Even more upset as me, who's someone a fan of Robin, that is a character that was supposed to show up in this movie, and if not for sure in the third film, played by Marlon Wayans, who had already been paid for the role and was supposed to be in it. It's a real shame that sometimes the corporate side of these characters can go ahead and really mess up your franchise, leading to a change in director, a change in Batman, and a wildly different change in tone. But we'll get to talking about that in the next Batman movie. Let me know what you guys thought of Batman Returns. How do you feel about the darker tone and Warner Brothers' decision to want to get rid of Tim Burton so that they can continue selling merchandise like little Happy Meals? If not, what you love or hate about this film. Don't forget to like, subscribe, but as always, I'm Chris. Take care.